Hey everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Mugenjuku on the Mood / food channel. This week we are going to do an even easier recipe than before. But Nick, you said last week was easy. I know, Nick, and this week is super easy too. But if it's that easy, does it taste good? Trust me, it is magnifico! Today's recipe comes from this book, Vegan 1 Pound Meals. Epic book, some really nice, cheap ideas. But best of all, everything in it is for one person, so it's one serving. So all you do is multiply the ingredients by how many people you want to make it for. So super simple, really nice book. So let's get straight into the ingredients. You will need coconut oil, vegetable stock cubes, closed cut chestnut mushrooms, Orzo pasta, oregano, and salt and pepper. You will need a wok, a spatula, a cutting board and knife, and a measuring jug. Through trial though, I have changed the quantities of this recipe. So for one person, I would recommend that you have 300 grams of mushrooms. So that is basically 1 tub. Then you would add 100 grams of the orzo per person. The recipe says to put half a vegetable stock cube in per person. If, for example, you're doing 3 people, instead of cutting it in half and it crumbles, so that's no good and you end up wasting it, just put 2 in. You do a pinch, so a good healthy pinch per person. Salt and pepper, you add to your taste. So this is just for seasoning. So just add it bit by bit depending on how it tastes. Before we get started, please don't forget, if you are under the age of 16, to make sure you ask your parent or guardian before you start cooking and making a mess in your kitchen. And also remember, we are using sharp knives, so be very careful when you're cutting. Make sure you keep your fingers inside in a fist. So first things first, we need to chop the mushrooms. Here I've actually got 5 tubs of mushrooms. This might seem a lot, but I'm making this for my lunch today, but also for lunches throughout the week. So this is 5 tubs of mushrooms, and that means I'm going to use 1 pack of the orzo. So the pack of orzo that I've got comes from Sainsbury's and is the Taste the Difference, and it's 500 grams in a packet. So 100 grams per person or 100 grams per portion. So I use the whole packet, so 5 portions, and that's going to give me a lot of lunches for the rest of the week. Shung! Huh? Shung! Oh man. That is a lot of mushrooms. First up, we've got my wok on the heat. I haven't put the heat on yet. I'm going to put in the oil first. So I'm going to do half a teaspoon of oil per portion of mushrooms. So I've got 5 portions of mushrooms today, so I'm going to do 2.5 teaspoons of oil. So heat goes on. Get it onto about a medium heat. I'm just going to warm that oil up ready for the mushrooms. I've now got my oregano. So For one portion, it's 1 pinch. I'm just going to sprinkle this in on top. So we're just going to add the mushrooms. So we're now going to cook these in the pan for 5 minutes. And obviously I've got a lot in here, so I'm going to need to keep stirring these through during that 5 minutes. And we just want to make sure that we try and get all the mushrooms covered in the oil. One cool thing about mushrooms is they're a good source of protein. While we're cooking the mushrooms, we can season them a little bit. You get your salt, a few sprinkles of salt, black pepper in there. Yeah, nice. Cool. Give that a good stir. Mix it all in. And you just want to keep cooking these until they start to get smaller and get nice and soft. Another tip, if you want to get them to reduce quicker, stick the lid on top. Just leave them for a minute or so, come back, stir it through again. While that's doing its thing, we can get the water ready. So you need 75 milliliters of water per serving, and remember, half a vegetable stock cube per serving. That means today I'm going to do 375 milliliters of boiling water. That's boiling water, and I'm going to do 3 vegetable stock cubes. Woo, woo, that's hot. Let's check the mushrooms. Okay, remember, don't have your head over the top when you lift the pan lid off because you get steamed face. Okay, so we're going to put that down over here. Look at that. Now, the mushrooms produce a lot of liquid, so don't worry about that, that's all good. It's full of flavour and it's all going to help with the mix. So I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit, and what we're going to do now is we're going to add the orzo. So remember, per portion you want 100 grams of orzo, and I'm doing 5 portions, so I'm going to use the whole bag because it's 500 grams per bag. If I can open it. Oh my gosh, that is ridiculously difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle it over the top of the mushrooms. So now what we need to do is add a little bit more oil, so the same as what you did before. So again, I'm going to add half a teaspoon per portion, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to, without dropping the oil, there we go, I'm going to dot it around on top of the orzo, because what we want is that the orzo absorbs some of the oil and not just all the mushrooms. Put the lid back on for about 30 seconds or so, just so the oil melts, and then we're going to mix it all together. Right, let's have a look. Right, remember, don't put your head over the top, stand back, let the steam come out. So the oil has melted on top. Now we're just going to mix everything in, everything together. Nice. See, super simple. Now we're just going to add the hot water or the boiling water and the stock. If you get this at the bottom, this is a waste. We don't want to waste this. So just scoop up a bit more of the water, use your spatula, mix it, and then pull it out. Lovely. Just give that a mix. We're just going to leave that for 5 minutes, and then we'll check it again, see how it's getting on. Most important, taste test. So I'm going to get a bit of mushroom, some of the pasta. Well, it's not bad. What I really like about this pasta is, as my dad described it, it's kind of a mixture between rice and pasta. At the moment it's still a little bit hard. It's edible if you like al dente. or you like a bit of crunch, you can serve it now. I'm going to cook it for a little bit more, just so it's a little bit softer. Final taste test. A little bit more salt. Give it a stir, and we are good to go. And there we have it, your mushroom orzo. I've finished off by just sprinkling a little bit of black pepper on top. Let's give it a taste test. Lovely. If you like mushrooms, this is the way forward. Give it a go. Okay, well that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed today's video and good luck making mushroom orzo. I hope you enjoy it. It is very, very delicious. And I will see you in next week's video. Please don't forget, guys, if you liked what you saw today, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell button. That will let you know when our next video is online. See you soon.